Now, FundedNext is arguably a top 3 prop firm in the industry because they've been around for several years now and they've paid out over 100 million in rewards. If you watched one of my recent videos, you would have seen that I purchased a 100k Stellar Lite account. And in the comments section of that video, I saw a couple of comments asking me why I picked the Stellar Lite and not the 2-step Stellar, because they're very similar challenges, both a 2-step, and I can see why people would ask the question. So this video is a comparison between the two and why I ended up picking the Stellar Lite. And if you want to go ahead and trade with FundedNext, you can use the code ESHANBALA and get a cheeky 120% refund when you get that payout. So with that being said, let's get into it. So let's start comparing the profit targets for both models. For the 2-step Stellar, there is a phase 1 profit target of 8% and a phase 2 profit target of 5%, which is really good. Then when you look at the Stellar Lite, there's a phase 1 profit target of 8% and a phase 2 profit target of 4%. That's a huge pro for the Stellar Lite, and that 4% profit target is very rare to see in the industry. So I really like that about the Stellar Lite, and it makes it even more achievable in that phase 2 phase. Now let's talk about the drawdown parameters. The max drawdown for the 2-step Stellar is 10% and the daily drawdown is 5%, which is very strong. And when you see the phase 1 profit target being 8% and the max drawdown being 10%, that's a huge pro for the trader. Now, when you look at the Stellar Lite, the max drawdown is 8% and the daily drawdown is 4%. So it is lower, and you can see it's a massive pro for the 2-step Stellar with their drawdown parameters. News trading and the profit splits are the same for both models. News trading is allowed for both, and the profit split is up to 95%. Minimum trading days is 5 days for both, and the time in which you can get the first payout is 21 days for both, and subsequent payouts for both is 14 days. In terms of commissions, the 2-step Stellar charges $5 per lot, but the Stellar Lite charges $7 per lot, so it is a bit more expensive there. One of FundedNext's most amazing features is their 15% profit share from the challenge phase. When you look at the information section, it says the following. At FundedNext, traders receive a 15% profit share from the challenge phase. Traders are eligible for a 15% profit share from the challenge phase with their first payout, provided traders meet 10% growth targets by the end of the trading cycle in the FundedNext account. So this basically means that if you get an accumulative payouts of 10%, so this could be over 3-4 payouts, and you get an accumulative amount of 10% profits made, you are eligible for that 15% bonus. So in short, what does that equal to? When you look at the 200k account size, when you reach that 10% accumulative profits made, you're eligible for that bonus of $3,900. So that's a massive amount. And for the 100k, it is $1,950. So it is a huge bonus that you get in the 2-step Stellar, which you don't get in the Stellar Lite. Now in terms of prices, I'm going to put the prices for both on the screen right now for the different account sizes. And you can see it's noticeable that the prices for the Stellar Lite is more affordable. Just looking at the 100Ks for both, the 2-step Stellar for the 100K is $549, and for the Stellar Lite, it is $399. So there's a significant saving with the Stellar Lite. And looking at the account sizes for the 2-step Stellar, it starts from 6K going all the way up to 200K. But for the Stellar Lite, it starts at 5K, so you can get a lower account size, and it goes up to 100K. So for the 2-step Stellar, you can actually get a higher account size, but for the Stellar Lite, you can get an account size of as low as 5K. So that was a comparison of the two, and you can see the pros and cons for both. Why did I end up picking the Stellar Lite? So for me, I like that I could get a 100k account with a very reputable prop firm for as little as $399. And it made me feel comfortable to go with them and make that purchase, knowing that I just had to pay $399 compared to that $549, especially since it's the first time I'm purchasing a 100k. The second point is that phase 2 profit target. Even though the drawdown parameters are lower compared to the two-step Stellar, psychologically seeing that 4% profit target makes it more achievable for me. And I tend to be more aggressive on the challenge phase, and I'm still risking 1% for the Stellar Lite challenge, even though the parameters are a bit lower. So it makes it feel more achievable that I can actually pass the challenge and get funded, which is what it's all about. And thirdly, it was a bit of a kicker for me, that 15% profit share, but my focus is not making the most amount of money. My focus has always been getting the funded accounts and getting small, consistent payouts. So for me, this wasn't a deal breaker for my first FundedNext account. I do plan to eventually get that two-step Stellar, but for now, for it being my first 100k FundedNext challenge, I was happy to go with the Stellar Lite. So I hope you guys enjoyed the comparison and the reason why I picked this two-step Stellar. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on which account you'd pick, and also if you're trading with FundedNext. If you do plan to trade with FundedNext, make sure to use the cheeky code ESHANBALA and you'll be able to get a 120% refund upon your first payout. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and make sure to smash your trading goals. See you guys.